Girl, I can't lie.
Thank you for your love. Thank you for the heart. There'll never be a long and lonely night again. Thank you for your love. Thank you for the heart.
So, why don't you date?
Well, the reason why I don't date is because
Whoa, not so fast. To truly understand everything, I need to take you to the beginning. The timeline is pretty simple. First, you're born. Next, as a toddler, you play with both boys and girls, but when you become a kid, you don't want to play with the boys anymore because you think that they have cooties. But one day, when you're 13, you watch Captain America: The Winter Soldier for the first time and something clicks. You like somebody. Honestly, that's how I thought I was gonna be, but I was so wrong. I feel like I was just left in the cooties phase and nothing ever clicked, but my friends weren't. In middle school, all my friends would like people and date each other, and I thought it was quite strange that I didn't have similar intentions. But overall, I wanted to fit in with them, so if that meant that I had to date these guys in my class and be in these middle school relationships, then that's what I was going to do. So I did.
at the time, I kind of saw relationships as a competition. I always saw my friends had one boyfriend. So to one-up them, I wanted to have two boyfriends. So I remember in 5th grade, I had two boyfriends at the same time. And looking back, like it was such like a middle school relationship. It wasn't even a real relationship. I'm pretty sure I lasted like 3 days. And I remember the two guys broke up with me at the same time. And like in my head, I was thinking, but I was very much in the wrong. I didn't understand that you actually had to like love the person you were in a relationship with. So yeah, that wasn't good.
You're right, that wasn't good. Maybe high school's a little bit better for you. Well, actually, high school was a whole can of worms. For the first 1.5 years of my high school career, I actually went to a pretty strict Catholic all-girls school, so there were no guys to be found. In the DMV private school scene, the school that I went to was known as the quote-unquote gay school because all the girls who attended that school wouldn't even bother dating the guys at our brother's school, but instead would just date each other. I knew that I wasn't into girls in that way, so going into my freshman year, I knew relationships wouldn't be on my radar, but I always thought it was because I was never around guys. I went to an all-girls school, played for an all-girls soccer team, was taught by female teachers, then I would go back home to my predominantly female family. So I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't like guys because I wasn't around guys. It was that simple. But this idea was obviously challenged when I decided to transfer high schools in the middle of my sophomore year. I went from going to an all-girls Catholic private school to a co-ed Catholic private school. So now I went to school with both boys and girls. And I was expecting something to change, something to finally click, but it never did. And that's when I started to panic. I remember searching up on Google, what is it called when you don't like anyone? Like I was really panicking because for my whole life, the norm was to meet someone, marry them, and have their kids. But that was something that I didn't want to do, so I thought that there had to be something wrong with me. I remember talking about it briefly on my YouTube channel.
This is random, but have you ever considered if you're asexual? I've definitely thought about it in the past because of just how I view love. The way I view love is very dark and twisty. I've never had a crush on anyone before. I don't see myself getting married nor do I see myself having kids, nor do I see myself wanting any sort of relationship. Like, I've always kind of considered it and always kind of thought, what if I am asexual, like in the back of my mind, but like I just don't know.
So going into my junior year, I always kept the idea of asexuality in the back of my mind.
Okay, I'm interrupting this video right now because I want to tell you guys an interesting story time. So grab a snack, grab a drink, you're gonna want to listen. So it was my junior year of high school. I'm pretty sure I was around 16 or 17 years old. I remember because it was around the time that I got a car, or I got a car a couple months before this. Anyway, I was with my friends and these two guys, and we were in my car. So it was me, my two friends, and the two boys, and we were all hanging out and we were all talking. My friends were interested in the guys that were in the car, but I wasn't. I was kind of along for the ride. Looking back at that whole situation and that time, I was just their driver. Anyway, so I guess like we're talking in the car and sex comes up because I feel like that's what teenagers think about 24/7. And so my friend who's sitting in the passenger seat, well, I'm sitting in the driver's seat, she's like, and like the guys in the car start looking at me and they're like, what? And they were talking to me, and like I remember like my face started getting really, really hot. Like I felt like I was turning red with embarrassment. And so these guys, they turned their attention to me for the first time, because I remember throughout this conversation before this happened, they were paying attention to them. So now they're paying attention to me and they're like, you haven't done shit? And I'm like, no. And then they're like, what the fuck? You're a fucking child. And when they said that, that shit stuck. Like, I didn't want to feel inferior to my friends. I didn't want to feel like less of a woman with my friends. After he said that, like he and his friends started laughing, and then my friends started giggling. Like, even if you go like on my Finsta, like you can see me saying some wild shit junior year. Like junior year was like, even though it was fun in the moment, I look back and it was just not good, because I was around the wrong people doing the wrong things, and my friends were influencing me to do things that I didn't really want to do, or things that I didn't feel comfortable with, and I definitely felt like an outcast. So I remember junior year, I was like determined to get rid of my virginity. I was like, fuck this, I don't want to be a fucking child, I want to be like everyone fucking else. Like, I know now that like how I was feeling, like it wasn't valid. Like I was feeling this way because I was just around the wrong people. And if you're in that situation, I know a lot of people are, where like your friends are doing all this stuff and you haven't really tried it yet. Like, don't feel like you have to do that to catch up with them. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. I promise you, once you graduate high school, everything that you worried about in high school will suddenly become irrelevant. And I look back and I'm like, I can't believe that was like the number one thing on my mind back then, because the number one thing on my mind right now is paying my rent. But whatever.
Senior year was probably the year I came to terms with everything. I sat myself down and told myself, Chichi, there's probably a really big possibility that you fall somewhere on the asexual spectrum, probably closer to the asexual side. And I was like, okay. I was so tired of fighting it, and I was so over high school. So after high school, I just continued to live my life, single.
So I guess to kind of close off this video, I should probably talk about why I don't date. And the reason why I don't date is because I genuinely don't want to. Like, it's just not something that I really wanted for myself. It's not something that I envisioned. I always thought it was weird for like not wanting to get married and not wanting to have kids and not wanting to experience certain things, but it's just the way I am. Honestly, a couple years ago, I came across this one YouTube video of a guy, and I guess he had like his first kiss on the YouTube channel like Cut, or The Cut, and he was explaining something to the audience, and it resonated with me because I never ever saw someone explain how I felt inside so well. So I'm just gonna insert that video right now.
It's kind of funny because a lot of people thought I was gay, and I was like, well, you're one letter off, I'm actually gray. So for me, I identify as gray straight. I'm really only attracted to women, but my sexual attraction and sexual libido isn't really all that strong, but I figure I'm capable of it. This is probably something I'd know a little bit more once I actually have sex, but for now I feel like this is a comfortable place for me to be in.
So yeah, that clip, like those couple sentences that he just said literally summed up everything that I feel. I am telling you guys like right now, like I can't tell you 100% that this is the way that I'm gonna be for the rest of my life, because who knows, maybe tomorrow I'll meet the love of my life, get married to him and have all his kids. Maybe that could happen, but like I'm really not counting on it. It's super duper unlikely, probably like 1 in a million. So to sum everything up, I definitely fall somewhere on the asexual spectrum, but I feel like there's so many factors that go into it. So whenever people ask me, are you asexual? It's just not really a yes or no answer, but hopefully I've answered all your questions about it. If you have any more questions, I'll be active in the comments, so ask away in the comments and I'll try and answer the best of my ability. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I was gone from YouTube for about a month, so sorry. I just need to take some time for myself, but I'm back to uploading every single Sunday. So new videos from me every Sunday. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more content from me, and I'll see you later. Bye.